Good morning or good midday from Vietnam. Right now I'm in the gym. I got the 1-day membership here to do my VO2 max training. So I'm just gonna warm up. I'm just gonna walk for a little bit. Then I'm gonna switch to jogging. So it's like, hi. Anyways, just 5 minutes walking, then 10 minutes jogging, and then we're gonna start the real workout, which is today. It's gonna be 4x4. So the plan is to do 2 times per week. One gonna be 4x4, which is original exercise for the VO2 max development, which is basically you do 4 minutes of 90-95% out of your max pulse, which means it has to be very intense, and then 4 minutes of rest. So I'm just gonna cool down till walking, and I'll try to do 4 times. So this is like a minimum amount. You will do like 6 to 4. So yeah, just 3 more minutes just walking. I have a water here. Already got all my supplements, protein, creatine, all the other essential supplements. I think the camera gonna start shaking even more when I'm gonna run. So this is the only way how I could adjust. So yeah, just 1 second. That should be fine. Hello, light cardio today. No, actually, that's just a warm-up. It's gonna be hard cardio, specifically VO2 max training. As I said, 1 day out of the week I'm gonna do strictly VO2 max, and another cardio day gonna be also for development of the VO2 max, but more like a boxing / sprinting oriented, where the intervals are shorter and they recreate the same pattern as you would have on the ring. Anyways, endurance. I always talk about endurance is the most important thing for combat sports. I would say for pretty much all active type of sports. Stamina is like a crucial aspect of it. And there are ways how to train it as a separate training that can contribute in the general progress. Hope you're doing well. Okay, in 40 seconds, I'm gonna start jogging, 10-minute jogging, then a little pause, and then we're gonna start doing VO2 max. The warm-up is very, very important. If I would do it just straight away, because I'm gonna hit 90-95% intensity, it wouldn't be good. Gotcha. I do a lot of high intensity cardio for my training as well. Being able to endure this late rounds is crucial. Yeah, that's true. Shout out to you. Okay, running. I mean, jogging. I might not be able to read it. My vision is not that good. Look, cheetah. Well, one day, hopefully, gonna be able to run those or sprint those 100 meters under 12 seconds. And then I'm gonna be cheetah. But yeah, this is type of jogging where I'm supposed to be able to hold the conversation. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too. Yeah, like when it's too many letters, cannot read it out, guys. Sorry. While I'm doing training now, like jogging, and especially when I do the high intensity part, I'm not going to be able to talk much. I have my incline slightly up, and well, it slightly activates some other muscles too. You know, when you go up on the slight incline, to create more of the natural, natural type of surface. Some treadmills have the switching mode, so they can do like the uphill, downhill for you. And but also good for your knees when you don't have a direct hit under your foot and under your knees. It's a slight incline, the angle is shifted. That is also supposed to be better for your knees. Good cardio. Yeah, it's just a warm-up cardio, as I said. When I start doing VO2 max, yeah, you can check if you look at the thumbnail and the video description, it says VO2 max, meaning it's going to be interval training. Well, according to the Norwegian method, endurance training method, and polarized the paramedic methods like this VO2 max part, like a high intensity exercise, which is you don't do it too often, but you do it consistently at least once in a week. It's like 4x4. This is how it's called. You can look it up. Just like 4 minutes, doing like 95% out of your max, and then 4 minutes just walking slower. Hi to everyone. Hope you're doing well, having a good day or a good night. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a watch right now. I have it back in Georgia. I mean, somehow I forgot to bring it with me. I mean, it will be better because I could check my pulse and see where is my heart rate. But now I'm just gonna be like, let's see if it's working. No, it's not working on this one. But I'm just gonna follow up the feeling. With Ozzy, yeah, the Dark Prince. He's gone, but never forgotten. Okay, 5 more minutes. To be honest, cardio is my least favorite part of the training, but I know it's my weakness, and I'm gonna make it into my strengths. You're better, training harder, you're a champion. Thank you. Gonna get there. when I finish with 4 more minutes left on the warm-up jog, I'm gonna pause it for a second and we're gonna start over. We're gonna start from slow, like walking, just walking, to slow down the pulse, but not completely. And then it's gonna be sprinting for 4 minutes. And then again, 4 minutes down, 4 minutes up, 4 minutes down, up, down, and one more time up. So it's gonna be 4 total sets. Is she an amateur MMA fighter, boxer? I used to be in amateur boxing. Now I'm not competitive at the moment, but one of the reasons I do that is to try to get back to the competition. Okay, 3 more minutes, just jogging. This is not a workout, this is just a warm-up, guys. I also want to show you how to be able to train VO2 max, how to integrate it in your training, but make it very consistent. You know, not like a lot of people think that elite level train like a certain way, but you know what? After, let's talk about certain examples. In the sports, the extreme training was starting wearing out the body and essentially decreasing the efficiency. So you actually can develop your lung capacity, your endurance quite well if you do it once or twice a week maximum. That specific training, and then you adapt it to everything else. One minute. Hi everyone. I'm glad if you're training, guys. Okay. Slowing down to 4. Pausing for a little bit, drinking water. Yeah, that's another good way to train your lungs. Strong, tough, you're a champion. Well, don't feel, already doesn't feel that tough right now in the training, but that's the point. In the training, you should be exposed to the challenge. You can sing, you can fight, and cardio is key for both. Yeah, in slightly different ways, but it's true. Okay. Okay. And you just walk. So yeah, 4 minutes walking. So in 4 minutes, I'm gonna start the first set. I'm just warning you guys, it's not gonna be pretty. I'm probably not gonna be able to talk properly until I finish the training. Well, I'm out of everyone's league. I'm married, so I'm not out in the market, in the dating market and stuff. But guys, really start working on yourself. You gotta be a man if you want to have. You gotta be a real man if you want a real woman next to your side, by your side. And I don't think I'm saying anything wrong. Become a real man, and you're gonna be able to find your real woman. Hi. Everyone, sport and training is not about talent, it's about consistency and commitment. So you should do it. Even if you're not very good at it in the beginning, trust me, if you commit to it, you're gonna develop that skill set. I don't know, guys. Try to be honest in a relationship. A hard truth is better than pretty lie, or ugly truth is better than pretty lie. Pretty lie. We're gonna be able to learn how to do hard things in our life sometimes. Okay, starting in 40 seconds. Try to breathe with the nose. Can you? Inhale, exhale with the mouth, like deep, few deep inhales to try to get as much oxygen. Like here, it's very humid and hot, but still there's some oxygen in the air. And okay, starting. And it was 3 minutes. Yeah, that tempo was tough. So it's at 4 minutes now. I'm gonna 3 minutes and rest longer. And gradually build it up. Yeah, I'm doing a good job. I would love to talk to you now, but I'm just gonna use my recovery time to really get there. Okay, 2 more minutes. Instead of 4x4, I'm doing 3x4. This is where I'm gonna start from. With that kind of intensity, I really don't feel like being able to really push longer than 3 minutes. And it's better to do that, get that intensity, recover, and gradually get to the higher period of intensity. Okay, getting there, 20 seconds. It's gonna be second set. My name is Diana. Hi everyone. It's a VO2 max training day. Guys, if you stay longer, I'm gonna talk to you after, okay? Right now, I'm just gonna spare my energy. There's 3 more minutes to rest. Rip Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of the Darkness, the King of the Metal. Yeah. We all love Ozzy. Two minutes. I told you guys, it's not gonna be pretty. Okay, getting ready. I warned you it's not gonna be pretty. You know, it's like a high feeling now. I feel like very, very high because of the endorphins. My body dropped me in that state now. But yeah, it was originally meant to be 4x4, and this is like a goal for the training, and then raising the intensity, speed, or decreasing the recovery period in between. But now I was capable to do 3x3, so 3 minutes round, 3 times. And this is exactly what would be a boxing male competition rounds. So it's like a total 9 rounds, except I've been resting 3 minutes in between. Morning, Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, anyway, just cooling down now, nothing extreme. Then I'm gonna be able to move to my one of my favorite coffee shops nearby, where I'm gonna get some fresh coconut, and we can have a talk a little bit. Frosty Cupcake, hi. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Well, listen to him. Check out the channel if you want. And decide yourself if you want it or not. Yeah, my husband is in chat and he says, never OnlyFans, sorry, not sorry. Yeah, it's one of the commonly asked questions. It's a sad that nowadays it's a commonly asked question. It means there is a problem in society. If you're doing well, yeah, now I feel spectacular. Whew. I felt like crap on intensive sets, but now I feel like I love everyone. I guess that's why it's called the runner's high. And a lot of runners, whether it's a 5K or, well, my distance been almost 5K actually, with all those intervals and warm-ups and stuff. So yeah, whether it's a 5K, 3K, 5K, and longer distances, it's like the outcome is pretty much similar. Like after they stop running, it just feels good. I guess that's how people get addicted to running. Are you wearing a mask or not? I'm wearing braces. Someone, I'm proud of you. That's a lot of work. Thank you. I think you were one of the first person who just said it directly, like that you're proud of me. And I think those are the words that we, all of us, been slightly lacking from the parents and stuff. And I love to tell others too that I'm proud of them too. But I think it's if not the first time, it's one of the rare times that someone says directly. So thank you, I appreciate it. Scottish, no, I'm Georgian. Georgian, the country. Kamajoba, Sakartvelo, Tvalishvili, Topuria, and many other Georgians. Yeah, those are the rubber bands, so they do make me look like a vampire. Braces these days look cool. Yeah. Oh, it's a later stage too, so my teeth already look good. My face already looks good. So once I take them out, it's gonna look even better. Morning to everyone, evening to everyone. Anyways, yeah, pretty much thinking to wrap it up to 15 minutes, so just stay a little bit longer, like 10 minutes longer. Are you training for something? Well, now I'm training on my stamina. So I'm adding up 2 VO2 max days. One gonna be, I did 3x3 now because I couldn't do more in that intensity, but the goal is 4x4, meaning 4 minutes, 4 rest, and do that 4 times. And another day gonna be similar, but more like a boxing type of intervals, like shorter speed ups, 30 seconds rest, 60 seconds, 90 seconds rest in between, and 30-second speed up, so shorter explosive intervals, which is very, very good boxing type of stamina training. And yeah, I was saying to people that I'm willing to get back to sparrings and more competitive boxing, you know, try myself on the competition. Maybe pros, I don't know exactly. Depends on how our plan gonna go with the traveling and doing, like, keep growing the YouTube. But I'm definitely willing to start from sparrings for sure. And for that, I need the stamina. So month or 2, consistent, once, twice a day, like twice a week, VO2 max training gonna contribute into a general endurance, and it helps the oxygen to be absorbed better in your system, and basically that's what helps you to increase endurance. Everyone has a different capacity of the oxygen absorption, and the more trained you are, the better VO2 max you have, the better oxygen you're gonna absorb. What's the best for the heart for treadmill? Well, that kind of training is good for the heart, but I would say this is a little bit beyond limits, because I'm hitting, on the intensive part, I'm hitting 90/95% out of my max heart rate. And trying to hold it for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, that's not fun. Like your body goes into survival mode straight away. But if you just want it for your heart health, you can decrease the active, the high intensity part to, I don't know, 60-70% out of your heart rate, and yeah, and then do a better slower intervals, but do intervals. Intervals are great for the cardiovascular health in general. It's just the intensity slightly, it varies depending what is your goal. My goal is to have an athletic endurance, so meaning that I'm gonna have to aim for a higher intensity intervals. I don't know, maybe, well, I'm still tired, so maybe I said it in the wrong way. What I meant is, it's up to your lung capacity, and just the bigger your lung capacity, the better your metabolism and cardiovascular system working, the better flow you have. So the oxygen comes in and it is absorbed into your body, into your blood, into your system, and then essentially to your brain. If you really want to see like a detailed science behind it, just look it up. I'm definitely not in the condition and not that, like I don't have that much knowledge how it like works on a deeper level. I'm just telling you more like a non-surface. So that all I can tell you, this type of training helps to increase that capacity. Upgraded settings, hold up. I don't know exactly. Well, it's you're as a moderator. You can just, I think you can remove them. It seems like it's working. Not doing intervals, yes. What's the most overrated workout for fighting? Thousand push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups. In my humble opinion. Have you looked into the Wim Hof breathing pattern? Any thoughts maybe works for endurance? Oh yeah, Wim Hof breathing is another thing. I already have a habit of breathing consistently. So when the higher intensity gets, the shorter and more fractured my breathing becomes. So when you run, like you cannot inhale. Your body just doesn't let you inhale fully. It's just gonna hurt your chest. So what you do is through the nose, try not to inhale from the mouth, do it from the nose. And Wim Hof's training is good for recovery. If you noticed, when I was had a recovering period, I was having a deep inhale, deep exhale. Wim Hof has a specific timing of it. They're different. He has different exercises, but there are different second proportions between inhale, holding it, and exhale. So I don't remember exactly what it was. We used to do it. We used to turn off. On YouTube you can find a Wim Hof breathing training for calming down, for endurance, this and that, different for different purposes kind of thing. And it literally times it and it tells you, okay, now inhale. And we used to do those exercises. It was, you can even make yourself get high on oxygen. Yeah, Chris says he will make sure that I upgrade the status. As I said, let me just try to get there. Oops. Be careful. Hi guys, hi new people. Okay, let's see Frosty Cupcake. Okay, remove as a standard moderator. Okay. Add as a moderator. Can manage blocked words. Change chat modes. Well, let's try this one. Let's try it and see if it's better. Is that a workout program? Well, it was VO2 max training, so now I'm gonna, from the next week, well, I started from this week, but next week it's gonna be one day, 3x3 for now, but then 4x4 one day per week, and then another day of the also VO2 max training, gonna be more shorter intervals, like 30-second sprint, 60-second rest, and stuff like that. Getting high on oxygen with Wim Hof or holotropic breathing feels similar to true. Yeah, that's the effect we had, and it was very, very interesting. You said VO2 max. Yes, that's what I said. I already finished the training. Now I'm just cooling down. Chris says the program is 4x4 Norwegian method. Yeah, it's part of the exercise of the entire Norwegian method training for endurance athletes, specifically triathlon and like long distance athletes. But this VO2, like intensive part of the training, which is like a less than 20% of the training out of the entire program, is specifically beneficial for a lot of things because it really targets specifically VO2 max improvement. Because if you put it in combination with the rest of the training for endurance athletes, they have a lot of pacing, not that much explosivity. But if you put VO2 max training in combination with boxing training or sprinting training, it's like it is adaptable to pretty much and can be beneficial for different types of training systems. I learned something new today. Oh, good for you, Angie. Appreciate it. I like when people learn something new from the streams, and not necessarily something from me. Sometimes there's some other very smart, cool people in the chat, and they also leave a lot of information in the chat. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Do boxers need flexibility exercises as much as kickboxers or taekwondo athletes? They definitely need it, just maybe a little bit slightly different way. Like, you know, like we in the boxing, you need a hip movement. You need to be able to have both strong and flexible hips to be able to create the punching momentum. Your upper body definitely has to be flexible. You know, you're not just, you shouldn't stop there, you know, like your arms should be able to extend further, but it's more like a combine. There's no point to do like extreme stretching for the flexibility in boxing. I would just do more of the mobility training, you know, with the shoulder mobility, some hip mobility, hip rotation exercises, and generally some strength training combined with the short interval VO2 max training and boxing specific exercises as well. Well, we'll make a long form max with Norwegian method as it's been shown to be superior. That's why a tiny country from Norway now have started to dominate so much in some sports, yeah, specifically in endurance sports. My shoulder is okay, never had the shoulder injuries. You think an ultramarathon endurance translate better in the ring? Not exactly. That's what I said, that the rest of the training, okay, so endurance athletes use VO2 max as the less than 20% of their weekly training. The rest is, you know, the different distance runs, cycling, swimming, you know, like if it's a triathlon, if it's just ultramarathons, it's just a lot of running, long distance running, and pacing in zone 1, zone 2. But that's the thing. If you just take that training and then try to do boxing, it doesn't exactly work that way. But if you just take a VO2 max, which is interval speed ups, and so some of the intervals are longer, like 4x4 method, and then another day, that's why another day I'm planning to do even closer to the boxing type of training, which is shorter intervals. Short sprints, 30 seconds, 60 seconds rest, and do that like 8-10 times, for example. If you take that part of the, it's called Norwegian method or polarized or pyramidal methods, and you add up the rest of the training, gonna be boxing specific and boxing oriented, it's definitely gonna contribute into the boxing stamina development. You can take something that generally works for an increasing lung capacity, but then you have to put it into a specific pattern that you want to, or which sport you want to compete in. Well, she talk a lot, but all I see is walk, which is good. Keep up the good walk. Well, I walk because I'm cooling. I finished my training. I'm just, get some extra calories burned. If you want to look it up, just play the live stream a little bit backwards. I did 3x3 instead of 4x4. I did 3x3 because that was my capacity for now, and it's my first day starting it. I haven't done VO2 max training in a while, and finally I'm back to it. I gotta be consistent to give the results, but it is what it is right now. So if you really want to check out the training part, just play back to the back in the stream. So it's like per rounds. Yeah, like one thing that makes me at least feel good about myself. Yes, I wasn't able to do 4x4, which is, guys, trust me, try 4x4. If you do 4 minutes at 95% out of max, and your body starts feeling wobbly after 2 minutes, and then you have to do it over and over again, and you don't have exact enough recovery because you need to manage to be able to recover in that time. So that is like recovery periods are also important part of it. So my point is, it's not that easy, though. Since I managed to do 3x3, which is exactly a male standard boxing, like amateur boxing competitive time, total 9 minutes, except the recovery instead of 1 minute would be 3 minutes here. But it's good. It means I'm not at very bad point, but there's still a lot of work to do. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia, the country. May the rest of your life be the best of your life. Thank you. Appreciate you. Wish the same to you all as well. Are you aiming professional? Well, first I get to the like athletic level of endurance. Need like a couple months, 3 months maybe, of the consistent 2 times per week VO2 max training combined with everything else. And then we'll see. Gotta look into sparring. I need to start sparring. Both technical sparring and occasionally a little bit heavy one to test myself where I'm at. I haven't sparred in boxing in a while. In the meantime, also looking forward. I got my spikes for sprinting finally. Last time I ordered them, didn't arrive, and I thought it was a scam or something, but found it for a very reasonable price here in Vietnam. Ordered, and yeah, those are good. So yeah, next step would be we're gonna go to Kuwait soon. In the beginning of September, we're gonna be in the Kuwait, and gonna look into potentially, if there are boxing gyms, if there are any sparring opportunities, training opportunities in the pairs, and also some sprinting as well. And then next step, in the end of September, beginning of October, going to be Georgia. Well, Georgia is my home country, so not going to be a problem to get more into it. What do you practice? Boxing, sprinting, now doing VO2 max, already did VO2 max exercise. Look into my channel if you want, and you can see that. I also do some karaoke night hosting and some drawing. Actually, today I have a draw fighters episode. Like the last time I did John Jones, according of polls. We did a poll and people voted for John Jones. So I draw his portrait, just the sketching, like, you know, black and white with pencils. And I've been talking at the same time with people. This time it's gonna be, you can see, if you look it up, it's a Ben Askren. I said and I promised, I gave my word that I will do Ben Askren without the pole, because we want to support him in the most important fight of his life, and hope he keeps pushing through and is gonna live long and happy life with his family. So it's just as a support thing, but maybe I'll manage to draw something else too, and it depends on the timing. Maybe gonna do some pole for that too, you know, and you're gonna be able to choose a different fighter / boxer, you know, like I'm focusing mostly on fighting and boxing personas. I'm gonna be able to choose which one you want me to draw. Well, people say that I'm more masculine than a lot of people, but I'm definitely not. Fortunately, thanks God, I'm not more masculine than my husband. Actually, comparing to him, I'm a little princess, which makes me feel better about it. But yeah, I've been, even though I'm not big, actually, I'm 161, 5.2 feet in height. A lot of guys had stopped me in the streets and said that, like, I have wider shoulders, which is, guys, you gotta keep it up, train more, so girls like me don't have bigger shoulders than you. Ben looks good now. No, I'm like glad to hear. I know that he had the lung transplants, the surgery went all right. I just didn't get updated on how the recovery period is going. I'm very happy to hear if he's doing well. My health, it's a good lighting, good nutrition, good beauty sleep, and you see, I'm sweating now, so it looks even better on camera. $141, 33 kg, she's lying. Don't listen to that man who is my husband. Ain't no way, Chris, that's too short. No, he's teasing. He's just trolling, guys. He loves trolling, actually. Okay, but it has been an hour, so I'm just gonna stop it now. Gonna stop it now. Rub my back. And I'm gonna get some fresh coconut treatment right next doors. I really do like that here in Vietnam they always have, a second, let me just get that one. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Yeah, I paid you, right?
Yeah, you paid me.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, see you.
See you. Anyways, I like it's quite cloudy today, and meaning it's not that hot. For some reason, one day usually is more cloudy, chill like now, and some days, and then the next day it's extremely hot, extremely sunny, which makes the cardio days even harder. Chris says, I'm 188 and 93 kgs, and to me she feels like 141. I think it's cute. You're cute. You know, have you seen those memes where it's like, you know, angry girl like that height, and how if they have a taller husband, of just like how generally taller people see shorter people when they're angry, like I imagine that it's adorable. That's why I'm not getting angry, because it's just makes me look even funnier. I really want my coconut. Great source of potassium. Like I would really drink quite like 2-3 coconuts a day sometimes, and it's like a more than a half daily source of potassium. Hi, hello. Can I have one coconut?
Coconut.
Yeah? Do you have coconut? Yes, thank you. You live in Vietnam? Yes, currently we live in Vietnam. 1 second. Huh?
Away or here?
Here. Yeah, 1 second. It's how much is it? 30.
35,000.
Okay, let me just. I have small cash, so. Okay, this is 10. Okay, I have like a smaller cash, so let me see. No, not this one. This one. Just calculate it. Okay, this is 20. And hold up, let's see. So it's 1,000, 2,000, 4, 6, 8. Okay, no. So we just take 10 here, and we take.
5.
Yeah. 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4.
12 size.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, thank you. Yeah, let's see if it's empty inside. Yeah, it seems like it. Okay, there's free space. Sorry.
여기가 그것도 있어요. 태국 사람도 있어. 우리 안 쓰는.
Let's see.
이거는 자유여행 가는 거라서 따로 가격이 있어요. 어떻게 보면 여기서 처음 제대로 된 가격을 내긴 하네.
Here in Arizona, it's brutal. Well, I heard about Arizona's incredible heat from my clients who are from California. Just want to check out the. Just gonna put the thing into the holder. That should be. Anyways, yeah, I heard from a lot of people, from many people, that Arizona can be very, very hot. And well, please let me know if it's if you can hear my voice. I don't want to be very loud because it's echoing in the room. There's some other people, so I don't want to be very loud. Chris says, for the question of the skin, VO2 max or our micro and macronutrients, and she trains a lot and doesn't drink. It's a big one, and get enough sleep, another big one, and don't tan excessively, and don't smoke as well. Like I don't smoke cigarettes and stuff. What's your job? Well, YouTube officially became my job as well, because I got monetized. But apart from that, I'm doing personal training, online personal trainings, and consulting on the nutrition and sleep and just lifestyle optimization. Both me and my husband do that, and yeah, I've been doing that for years now. Hi, Kyla. Howdy, Kyla. How are you doing? Now I'm gonna grab a napkin Yeah, I'm gonna grab a napkin and come back in a second. Nothing?
Đúng không? Hả?
And I'm back here. I like your tattoo. It's great. You're helping people. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Trying my best. We gotta help each other. Otherwise, what's the point? It's also the better you help other people, the more other people want to help you as well. And as I said, if you don't do it, what's the point? Just let my hair down. But yeah, guys, hope you all are doing well. And Jess and I, oh, that's cool. I have a question. Is it possible for a man that's almost 40 to stop smoking cigarettes and train my body to build muscle like a bodybuilder, or is it too late? It's absolutely not too late. When it comes to the bodybuilding and fitness, general fitness development, you can look up people who started doing that in their 50s actually. And by the time they're in 60s and 70s, they are already in legit shape and health. Usually people who start late, they're also more cautious of their health as well, so they don't push it too far, you know what I mean? Like they're not going too extreme. And this is very good. And because they build muscle mass, and then sustain it, that really prolongs their life and life quality at the same time. So absolutely go for it. And when it comes to smoking, I don't know, some people can quit immediately. I've seen people doing that, but I believe that like nicotine addiction or the smoking addiction, you know, like you need to establish what is your addiction root. And then actually Chris was reading those audiobooks, listening to the audiobooks regarding that, so maybe he can recommend something. But you just approach it methodically and gradually, tapering down it from, I don't know, let's say 1 pack if you're a big time smoker, to half of the packs a day, and like keep going, like every week tapering down slightly and getting used to it. That way can work for some people as well. But I believe it's apart from the physical addiction, it's also a lot of mental addiction to there too. And it is one of the things that you gotta, that's why I said establish the root cause why that addiction came in the first place. But when it comes to training, absolutely just start training and become consistent, even if it's twice a week, 2-3 times a week. That's more than enough, as long as you split it the way that you train your full body in the week, and you have enough recovery time till you hit the next week, and gradually progress. If you want to get bodybuilder type of physique, meaning you want to focus on hypertrophy training, you can do. You gotta aim between 8 to 12, 15 repetitions, somewhere in that range, and you have to try to achieve the muscle failure when you basically cannot do the repetition anymore, especially on the last sets, which is usually we'll do like 4 sets. That is like the optimal amount, because you trigger your neural system and your muscles to the point that you're like getting all those micro traumas in your muscles, and your brain has to recover it during the sleep. Obviously, you're gonna have to get a good sleep, good night's sleep, and Yeah, it's just gonna just do it repetitively and consistently, and you will see where you're gonna get in 2, 3 months, then 6 months, then a year, then in 2 years, and you're gonna achieve very good results. Sorry, I'm just late. I went out a couple hours ago, and I just woke up. Was a hot, busy, productive day. Yeah, it's hot there too, right? Good for you. I mean, Kyla, it's good. It's good to stay productive. Can you really quit smoking? Yes, I've seen people quit smoking. But it's not that easy, and it's not that simple. You have to look into both psychological and physical factors of it. Yeah, I was saying that Chris knows the audiobook, which he just Easy Way to Stop Smoking, Alan Carr. That's the book. I just injured my knuckle and left lat muscle. I gotta do some peptide injections and then stem cells to get them back to track, stay safe from injuries, and also I'm gonna get an ear piercing tomorrow. Okay, good for you. And all peptides sounds like a good thing, but also what kind of, like, if you just train the muscle, try to add some myofascial release to get some massages. Like if it's just a muscular type of strain, and it's nothing related to the joints and deeper, softer tissues, you can add up some light stretching, myofascial release, and massage therapy as well. Both books have millions of testimonials of people that stopped smoking. Well, apparently, that's an evidence. You play sport. I don't play sport. I do combat sports, like boxing specifically. Thanks for your time and advice, and for believing people can change. I believe if you don't change, you're a problem, not alive. In reality, we are transformative creatures. We always change. We change. The difference is we just rather change because life changes us, changes our biochemistry. We become more dull, more adaptive to all the circumstances. Or there is another way we can actually promote and choose how we want to change and become more resilient, and as a result, not be that angry, not lose to the life circumstances, but opposite, take control over things and make those kind of changes. So one way or another, you always change. Rather, life changes you and you don't do anything about it, or you change by yourself, by your own choice. And second one is, it's a harder one, but it is always better to make that conscious choice by yourself. Hi David, good morning from Barcelona. Good morning to you too. Knuckle stem cells are smart, just give it time to heal 100%. Too many start training again too soon. Yeah, and guys, when you have those kind of injuries that were caused by an impact training, just don't do impact training for a while, but go and work technique, go and work reaction, the coordination, balance. Go train those things that are not maybe that exciting to train, but you need them too. So training doesn't have to be heavy all the time. Every time, all the time, I mean. I dislocated my shoulder once, and sometimes it comes out to when I do pad work. Well, Yeah, I can imagine that, but that's when it comes to technique adjustments, maybe try to not extend it too much. Like you can always have, like, one of the reasons I never had problems with I think pretty much never had problems with my arms at all when I punch, because I have like a habit of having my shoulder here, it's not loose, it's never loose, and my elbow, which is also never loose, and my wrist and my knuckle, that's also never loose. So like you teach yourself how to have maintain that shape in front of the mirror, doing like a air impact, throwing punches that way. And I showed it in the yesterday streams actually. And yeah, all I'm saying is just a very good way to prevent yourself from some injuries, because if you don't have control over those three joint areas, you always have a risk of like losing it, like and throwing your arm too much and essentially hurting yourself.
맞아. 카운터 발라 베이스 빠이어.
Yeah, Chris, I didn't put much stress on my knuckles for 2 years, but when I started doing that training again, that's when it became swollen and turned blue. I injured my tendon. Bone is perfect. Okay, tendon issue can be sometimes like it's tricky, and you gotta be careful with it. This stream is so quiet, need more rage baiting. Wrong place, friend. It's we're talking about important stuff, useful stuff, and right now I'm also being very quiet and chill because it's quite echoing here, and I don't want to be too loud because there are other people as well. But yeah, no raging, only positive vibes. Do you have Irish ancestry? I don't think so. I have Slavic and Caucasian roots. I'm Georgian, from Georgia. I used to practicing punching the wall as a kid, thinking it was so cool. Yeah, even when you do that, you gotta be careful, gradual. Maybe you're able to control anger and the other rapid release emotions because trained body morphology is very different than someone in a static status for extended period of time. The blood vessels, the neural system as well. And yeah, completely agree. It's a very, very good point. Are very different, you're saying. Yeah, couldn't say that more better. And I never had anger issues whatsoever before, but it always can develop into lack of emotional control, raging, hysterical events, especially in women. So rage is more common for men, and hysteria is common in women. That can happen both in can happen vice versa. But the point is that the root is the same. It's a lack of emotional control, and emotional control does not work only through self-awareness. Before having a self-awareness, you need to optimize your body. That's what me and Chris believe, and that's why I really resonate with your statement. Hi, where are you from? I'm from Georgia, the country. How old are you? I'm 25. Swimming is awesome. Yeah, swimming is Definitely awesome. Low impact cardio. Great for, if you should put it as an endurance part of training, also great, but it still feels, I think it's the nicest one. You know, you're not really sweating there, or if you sweat, you're like, you know, covered in nice water, perfect temperature. Water training is way more relaxing to me, though I'm not talking about the elite level swimmers or synchron swimmers when they do like unbelievable things underwater. I'm talking just about as the additional amateur type of training. Cold coconut is the, I think, the best taste out there. It feels like heaven. I'll show you. It is a fresh coconut, rich in potassium, that helps to balance your electrolyte moderate your electrolyte balance in your system. She's 25 years old, by the way. Yes, that's my husband saying. Anyways, I still feel the aftermath of the effect of VO2 max training today. Totally, if we think about it, it's been just a little warm-up, like 15-minute warm-up, and then it was active 9 minutes. So I did, like, instead of 4, I did 3 times 3 sets, and then I had 3 minutes in between to rest. But like I've been walking, so it was active rest period. Well, it's not considered as a long workout, but the effect of it, it's like my body feels so much better. A lot of endorphins floating in my blood, causing the pain killing and the relaxing effect, like euphoria effect. And as I said, like right after training, I said that I feel like I love everyone. I love the world now, and this is it really has an uplifting effect. So definitely, even if your goal is not to get that very high level of stamina, competitive level of stamina, even if you just want to do it for your heart and your cardiovascular health in general, just decrease a little bit of the intensity in the intensive part of it, but do those intervals, do those VO2 max exercises. You can. I chose the treadmill because, well, I do sprinting as well, and I push myself the best when I'm running. Really feel the impact. But when it comes to other alternatives, you can do the spinning bike easily. What else? Any type of cardio machine basically works, but I would say the treadmill and spinning bike are the most optimal. Just Maya says, unfortunately I've been in toxic relationships, so apparently everything is rude, so trying not to be. Thanks for the info, Chris. I'm in the US, I'm a guy. Yeah, well, we all experience certain type of toxicity, whether it's a relationship with a romantic relationship, friendship, or a family relations. You know, it's something that we all experience, and we tend to be, or sometimes we can be toxic too. And it's all about to just break that cycle break that pattern, starting coming from the family, and then our their family before, and just do our best to bring up the awareness in ourselves, and then surround ourselves with the people who are trying to do the same, and then it becomes more manageable. Hey, I have an MMA fight coming up on 14th August. I'm from India and I have constant contact with Matrix Fight Night. My record right now is 6-0. Any recommendations for diet? Well, and which weight are you competing? What is your current weight? Where you gotta get? How do you have to cut? Because 14 days are on 14th August. You said, okay. So what date is today? It's well, it's some around 19 days, which is you got to start right now. Are you actually supposed to manage your weight way before that? At least depends how much excessive weight you have. But you got to start doing weight managing 2 months, 1 month before at least. And I'm talking about calorie cut, consistent, gradual, without suffering your body through malnutritioning and anything like all that kind of stuff. And yeah, just tell me more about which weight class, what is your current weight, and I might try to give you some pointers. What's your arm span diameter, which gives a huge advantage in boxing? My ape index is 14 centimeters. My fingers almost touch my knee when hanging. Turns out my ancestors were hunters who used long spears. Yes, that's, well, genetics. There is always a reason why we turned out the way we turned out. Well, I'm quite proportional. So if you're talking about classic proportion, I reach the middle of my thigh, of my quads. I reach with my fingers. This is like a classic. So my reach is not neither short or long. It's like a middle range. But that's why my boxing style is not about using the reach, it's about cutting through the reach. So even my boxing, the way how I throw jabs and crosses, even that is different than just the classic blueprint, because that's the only way how I can compete with the taller boxers. Have you ever been toxic? I guess admin, it's, we're all human, it happens. But I just, I think I developed good toxicity check in myself. And also when you have good people around you, smart people around you, who also don't take bullshit, they are straightforward with you, so it gives you an additional reality check. And sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm just not in a good mood today, and instead of just piecing it others and like just spitting it out and affecting others with your mood and making toxic, you just have this, okay, you know what, you try to communicate and just explain that I might not be in the best mood today and it's not your fault, it's just me, and just letting you know, and I'm gonna try my best not to do or say anything wrong. Because it's our responsibility at the end of the day, what we say and how we act towards others. I'm just reading through the comments. Yeah, I see the situation. I'm just reading through the comments, and guys, when you, it's very less likely, statistically, if a woman is older than a man, especially in the, I'm not talking about maybe 1-2 years, but like a significant, like 9 years and extra, is way less likely to be successful long term than when a man is 9 years or plus older than a woman. And those are just statistics. If you look it up, you'll see that there are differences in it. And I guess it's just so when a man is more mature and is a little bit older, it's related to the fact for him it's easier to step into a leadership, have an authority in the family. Whether when a woman is older, she's more mature or she's more experienced, maybe not even mature, but just she's like older. She's seen, maybe she's like 9 years ahead of you to a certain extent. And also when older women start relationships with younger men, it's I don't know. It's like it's interesting dynamic. They're not very submissive as well in the sense of relationship. I'm not saying you gotta be submissive. You can have to be submissive in everything, but as the woman, if you really want to have a healthy, happy relationship. That's a paradox. A lot of women want stronger men than them, but they don't want to follow and listen what they say, what they try to make a decision. Like, for example, get the course where as a family they would go. And obviously as adults you talk with each other, you discuss together, but like when a man is like a captain of the ship and a woman is like his first assistant, and then kids are like the ones who follow both of them. I think that's a good dynamic, and that's the way how it should be, because you let a man to shine in their leadership, in their masculinity, and as a woman you also get in your best position and role where you're the most effective, organizing everything, nurturing, maturing, like having a structure for yourself too, this is how it used to be before, that men would go out in the world, provide, fight the world, conquer it, try to get provide for the family, come back, and they would give entire money to a woman, but not just for her needs or something like that. No, because she was the one who would manage all the household needs for kids, for him, like food, all that kind of stuff. Because before it was the structure that worked out of necessity, and that structure worked. That structure helped us to efficiently survive and evolve as the humanity, and get there gradually. And even though we're living in the modern times, and I'm not the advocate for, let's get back in 100 years back and let's lock women in their houses now. Like, I'm not the advocate for that, for sure. But we need to take some older values and adapt them to modern life, but also bring some refreshing touch to it. Like, you don't have to have, like nowadays, if you don't have a 9-to-5 job, and like me and Chris, we are able to travel, do work online, do YouTube. Like, you can see me training and preparing for some stuff in the future, and he's like my manager and producer and bodyguard and everything. Like, he's the one who's making sure that I can shine in my talents, and I think that's great. Definitely don't feel myself like a oppressed victim. Definitely don't feel that way. So, but one of the reasons why everything works is because he's extremely strong, he's extremely dominant, and he's very, very good they're out in the world. And I'm always trying to learn when it comes to those things from him. That's why in the 3 years of our relationship, I managed to learn so many things and evolve myself to the point that when you surround yourself to the superior people, you get a chance to get superior yourself over time. not superior to them, never outshine your master. That's one of the biggest laws, the most important laws in the 48 laws of power. But you evolve, and you evolve very rapidly when you are able to listen, to learn from, and don't have the ego issues when you're surrounding yourself with the smarter and more supreme people. And as a woman, you have a privilege. You actually can have a partner like that you can a 24/7 ability to learn and evolve and progress and practice different things. So yeah, I mean, that's why I think that dynamic works the best, and it resonates more with, as a woman, you can be strong, you can be resilient, but you have a stronger man that you learn how to listen and follow and trust. And that is also a strength. A lot of people don't possess strengths of being able to listen, observe, understand the situation. Everyone has the ego urges, like I want to be the boss. I don't want to be told by anyone and anything what to do. That is not a strength. That's childish behavior. That's not being tough. Whether when you are, as a woman, when I found, when I was all the masculine traits I acquired throughout the years, but I delved more into femininity now, I learned how to use that femininity for my power in a game as well. For example, when we're out with Chris and, when I'm dressed up, when I look even better, more tied up, a lot of people, how it is. They look at your spouse, they look at you, it kind of creates a perception. And sometimes in those environments, I avoid talking too much. You can see, I can talk. I'm a big time talker. I like talking, explaining, that's my job. But at the same time, in those environments, I just smile and I look and I try to be charming, and I try to see what others do, what they say, and also one of the reasons is to see if it's a business meeting for my husband, for example. I always give him my feedback. Okay, that person, I notice certain traits, certain characteristics, behavior that is not indicating on a good thing. So I do quite a lot of behavioral analysis, and we work as a team. So I put my, just the cost is to not maybe being out there and talking too much and getting all the attention to myself, but it's very helpful. So being able to listen, observe, analyze, I think it's the women who actually achieved power historically and outcompeted men in their environment were women like that who could who had the masculine acquired traits and resilience, but also they used their charm and femininity to make people to want to do things for themselves, to be on their side, just to make them feel safe and heard, but at the same time that they would observe their behavior, their acting, and make the conclusions out of it and build their strategy upon it. So my point is, certain feminine traits like adaptability, fluidity, if you delve into it, they can be one of the biggest strengths out there. That's a real feminine strength, in my opinion. Okay, and keep scrolling up, guys. Yeah, I see Chris giving a lot of pointers himself in the chat. That's great. And feel free to email us. Be respectful, and obviously, I'm not going to have to tell you that, but feel free to email us on the contact email in my YouTube bio. And if there is certain questions and you need some help, and if we can really respond to those questions and help you, we'll happy to do that. You look good, you're still maintaining your feminine appearance. I became more feminine looking even though I'm way stronger physically now. I can, like, my upper body strength is at my peak comparing to years before, but at the same time I'm at my most feminine period, and I keep discovering my femininity, the art of nurturing, healing, comforting, and motivating people. Chris is one intelligent fellow. Appreciate your help, brother. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And well, sometimes Chris is a very straightforward person, and he often goes and says things straight away the way they are without sugarcoating. One of the traits I really respect in him. For some people, sometimes that sounds like, he's been called misogynist and like stuff like that. If you look at our relationship, well, he's absolutely supportive of me being out there, doing my best, trying to help people. He's the one who encourages me to get back to competition, because that would be awesome if he's the one who says things like, imagine you would compete in sprinting on Olympics and in boxing at the same time. You would be like a first woman in history. That's how he looks at me. And sometimes I'm not even taking this, like, those ideas are quite extraordinary, but that man was flying from the mountains and he was doing extraordinary things himself when no one believed he could do that. And the way he looks at me doesn't really look and sound like a misogynistic relationship at all. So a lot of people get offended and triggered because there are certain things that are just the facts. The fact is that the demography starting declining in Western and also some Asian developed countries, China, South Korea, Japan, though pretty much every Western country, like the Western Europe, US, Canada, is in a decline of the demographic, which is, it's not only about a choice anymore. If you have a decline in the demographic, that means your future economy going to suffer. Infrastructure, there's not going to be enough power to maintain infrastructure. That means a lot of foreign power has to be put in place, and that might cause, as much as a controlled normal immigration shouldn't be a problem, but like when you're in this position, when you need desperately manpower, you have to get people from other countries to invite them to work and support that infrastructure. So it becomes a global problem. So it's not only about women and their individual wants and needs, and men and their individual wants and needs. No, it's about the society. And there are certain things there, just like when you say those things, people drop into a massive denial. They're like, no, it's not true. Those are not valid statistics. Someone is making it up. I heard people saying that, and they're like, well, okay, let's see how it's gonna just keep getting worse then. There's personal views is personal views, and especially if it's not aligned with the reality. It's just not gonna work. You're a sprinter too. He's there, Max. Yeah, I mean, I'm sprinting enthusiast. I cannot, unless I run 100 meter sprint under 12 seconds, which I want to. One of my goals is to get there. Not necessarily competing or something. It's just in the training process. I want to be able to do that. So, and Chris can gonna respond to that question better, I think. Chris, your ideas are way outdated. Well, tends to come back. And that's what we said, that certain values, like, I will tell you a Norwegian example. Norway, as much being as one of the most liberal countries, have the strictest immigration policies in the Scandinavia and the Europe, and that's why they don't have a catastrophe with the uncontrolled immigration. When it comes to the family unit, they actually pay per child till they become 18, a certain amount. And they also have both maternity and paternity leaves, and they encourage, they support all families, both single parent households and two-parent households, but they encourage raising kids, and they encourage family unit. Because they are smart, they understand that for the healthy generation, the best is to have two parents, both mother and father. I understand there are situations happen, like individual situations. In the periods of war was a big thing that men would die in the war, women would have to raise their kids by themselves, but that's a different situation. It was not their choice, it was the negative occasions, situations happening in life. Now it became such an easy choice that people don't take it seriously anymore. They think that they can have a kid and they can divorce, and they think that it might not affect their child, but that is a delusion. It's always going to affect the child, and especially if they don't manage to have a civil and good relationship and have the certain sense of unity as at least co-parents. Like, you see where we're going. Like, a lot of Western countries now has an extreme rate of single mothers, and the governments are supporting that. That's not a good thing to me at all. Okay, so I'm 6.5, 84 kg, so basically middleweight, and you're quite tall also for 84, which gives you probably height and reach advantage. Weight, and have just joined in MFN, Rocky Professional, 5 in a row, but trying to get better every day and looking forward to the UFC one day. Well, Al, just good luck and keep going. It's like you're quite tall. And it's interesting what age is it, because for that weight you're quite tall, and you might be skinny and taller in your weight division. Maybe, I'm just assuming, you might be quite young and your body have not matured fully yet, because at that height there might be possibility to do the light heavyweight in the future. But I actually agree, unless you don't do extreme weight cuts and suffering through the consequences out of it. If you can make the lowest weight class you can, it's a good idea to do it. To start from there and then gradually go up into the classes. I love how good team you all are so much. You're both bona fide badasses. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. Wow, you two are cool. You're so many jealous people in the world, but you two are actually trying to help. It's amazing, really. Thank you, Jess. We really do it. It's there is a certain, different level of satisfaction into actually trying to make a difference. And to us, it's even someone watching those streams, and there's some people who started training, even though I'm doing it for maybe 20 days now, less than a month since I started sprinting. And there already been a few people who said that they actually started getting better, more control on their lives, starting consistently training, or just having some walks and any type of activity, and they stay motivated, and they express it as that those streams help them to make those steps. This is worth it. And I don't know, that might be just my own satisfaction and we just love doing it, but as long as it actually makes the changes in the world, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. If it actually changes things for positive, it's worth to do it. That means it's the right thing to do. But I appreciate your words, guys. Higher bone density men, more like Pereira. Okay, so you're a weight bully. I'm not saying it in a mean way. It's going to be a huge advantage for you. It already is. So what is your record? I'm in a great solid relationship for 3 years and never fight. And if using outdated ideas, wrongs kind of beliefs, then so be it. But explain what you mean. How are my ideas outdated? Well, I think I already also gave my response to regarding that. 20 years old right now. That's a very good age, and your record was 6-0, or that was someone else saying it up there? Yeah, 6-0 is yours. Very good start. Just keep it up. Get the practice. Be smart about training. Learn your opponents. That's one thing you asked me about recommendation. When it comes to the diet, I mean, as long as you make your weight, it's fine. But because you need to do a lot of cut, you need to try to start using calorie tracking apps. Look up for chronometer. You can see both nutrition and the calories. It's a very easy app. You just put your information and literally gives you the amount of calorie intake, and then you can add some activity levels, like training to see to create a calorie deficit and be able to cut, but you still can maintain high protein, good food intake. So that's gonna help you to cut without suffering from the malnutritioning, and maybe even avoid like a big water cut. Water cut, if you do it a certain, like Chris has a good protocol on the water cut, so he can tell you more about it, but it shouldn't be a massive percentage of your entire body weight. It should be like I don't remember exactly, but it shouldn't be major weight cut through the water cut. When it comes to just keep fighting, keep doing what you're doing. Start learning, studying your opponents. Like if you can get a hold of their previous fights, their personality, if you can find out what kind of people they are, like everything. Really put the work into the studying your opponent. If you know a little bit before, like let's say 2 months, 3 months before, or usually in the professional, when you get like to the professional level, it's even longer periods. You have at least 6 months on average before the fight. You need to study them well, and really start looking for the weaknesses, and build your game plan to actually play on it. Use their weaknesses as your strengths. I'm underrated. I'm underweight due to malnutrition at your age, but I have fight spirit, which helped me really well. Had to fight 20 boys to even survive every day in my childhood. My mom used. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear those things, but that's probably what made you tough. Dropping absolute facts, Diana. It's awesome to find someone like-minded. Logical, intelligent folks are hard to come by nowadays. You're a unicorn. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. I'm thankful for all those bad things because they made me a man. This is what a strong, resilient person says at the end of the day. I'm happy and I'm glad and grateful that all those hard things happened to me because they made me who I am. That's what I always been used to say, and I still say it. That's what Chris says, and that's what I find, that a lot of people who they're not victims. They're glad for all they take what happened to them in their lives, all those negative experiences, as the something and the contributor in their personality development. I'm gonna give a little bit rough example, but that was the most, the biggest, the one of the toughest thing I heard, but one of the most, motivating somehow. So there was this 70-year-old girl who survived serial killer basically, and she was the one who made sure that he got caught. And so what happened was like she was kidnapped by a serial killer. She was at the risk of death, and she said that she, even before that, she wanted to commit suicide. She didn't feel good, but then this happened to her. She was abused sexually and terrorized. And I think she found the way she started acting on it. She said that I can be your girlfriend, I kind of like you. So she, instead of just playing on the psychology of the victim that usually serial killers want to, they want to cause those emotions, she started acting, playing that game with him. Somehow, what happened? Like he didn't murder her, and then she managed to, or let her go or something like that. So she called the police, and obviously they he got caught. And that was one of the most bravest thing you can imagine a person doing in that situation, a girl doing in that situation. And then I remember her saying, during the public speeches, as now years after, she's helping women who've been abused through recovery. She's a major activist for women who've been through the similar situations. And in her speech, those words cut me off my guard. Like she said, I'm glad that it was me and not the other 17-year-old girl. Still getting chills, because imagine saying that you're being glad that you've been the one who've been abused, you've been the one who been there because you were the one who managed to take yourself in control and make that person stop from potentially hurting many others. That was one of the toughest, strongest thing I ever heard from a person. And this is a really common trait from people who grew into their resilience. They're glad that what they've been through, because that made them stronger, and that gave them an ability to save others, help others, and make others' lives better too. Knuckle Slayer. There are some effects. Obviously, there are some traumas. It's just, even if you choose not to be a victim and you just resent it, and which is good, but it's okay. There is nothing wrong to acknowledge that you've been in a situation that caused certain situations, there's certain effects in your personality, but it's also out of your control, because once you acknowledge it, you can take it under control. You can work it through, and I believe it's manageable to work through to the point that you have a good self-awareness, you have a good control over your emotions, and you take control over your life. You're right, Chris, but the idea sounded outdated. When you get to the discussion and explain things more, delve into it, it opens the door for the conversation. And I think the best conversations and the best debates is when you agree to disagree on some things, but then you agree on some common denominators. But yeah, we already talked about, we need some relatively old school values, some core values that brought our society where it is now. Because lack of those values is going to cause the collapse of the society, and we cannot afford that if we want to keep evolving. But at the same time, we find the ways how to make it work. We make it more individualized. Now we're living in a life. It doesn't have to be strictly this or that. Back then, yes, in societies, women had to look a certain way, men had to look and act a certain way. It was a very, very strict standards and stereotypes regarding who had to act like what. Same for children, and well, children, even though it was a tougher generations, but that was my wake up, more common child abuse as well. So there were a lot of negatives to it. But it was just because that up until a certain point, the society was surviving. And very few people were able to enjoy the life, enjoy the intelligence and all those privileges. Most of people had to survive and be in survival mode, and most of families had to be. And that's why we had the tribal family structure, tribal structure, like community structure. It wasn't perfect, but it was a necessity. Now we're getting to the point that it still remains a necessity, but we want to evolve, right? We want to be able to raise kids in a healthier, better way. But we still need to give them some resilience. We need to give them some independence and some challenges, if not struggles, at least challenges in their lives to be able to grow up into a decent, intelligent human beings, but also resilient and being able to face the things, face challenges in their lives. When it comes to that, before even getting there, we need to find how to be good with each other, meaning men and women. Stop competing with each other, stop being aggressive towards each other, and actually embrace each other's strength, acknowledge each other's weaknesses, and just step in those roles. Though, as I said, I'm the boxer. I teach Chris how to do boxing. I'm actually training him boxing, right? Like it's quite unconventional, and those kind of things is a normal thing nowadays. Back then it would be judged. Now there is no point. I think like most of people think that's actually cool. But at the same time, when it comes to the relationship, when it comes to the like a certain roles in the family, in a team, because family is basically a team. Everyone has their roles, and it's just it's based on efficiency. He's better with crypto, math, economy. He's very, very good with all of those kind of things. And as much as I'm learning from him, and he's happy and willing to always teach me, show me, explain those things, I'm still not the stronger one in those things. Meaning that I rather prefer him to do those things for us. My strength is doing art, doing more of the, I think I'm quite good at the sports analysis and doing delving into the process of training. I think I quite well, I understand people's psychology quite well. That helps me to find a way how to work towards them. Those are my strengths. And why not to put it the way, and just instead of making everything equal, just make it the way that we just push on the things that we're really good at, and we create an efficient outcome. Yeah, that's the point. Thanks, Al. My brother, really appreciate it, bro. Hope you get into the UFC soon. I love when you guys talk to each other too, and absolutely, Al. We wish you the best of luck. And as I said, start really. I was watching about GSP yesterday. I'm rewatching some documentaries sometimes. Apart from the fights, and actually, GSP was like one of those few people in that era who was saying, train hard but also smart. And he's the reason why he's being a GOAT, and he was very smart with analyzing his opponents, really building a game plan. He was focusing a lot on strengths. Technique, fighting IQ, fighting skills is like something, BG Penn was a good example. He was the most talented, he maybe was the most talented martial artist out there, but he never trained that much, never been committed that much. And essentially that's the reason why he went downhill. So combine physical training, you need the strengths, you need to develop strengths, relative body strengths, or body relative strengths for your body, and then put it in the technique, execute it, and transfer it into your performance as well. I just did VO2 max training, started doing VO2 max training You're gonna thank me and thank everyone who's gonna tell you that focus on your endurance as well, because that's gonna help you to dominate even better. And as I said, study your opponents. Okay, guys. Just reading through comments. I subscribed, Jasmine says, and I'm glad I came across your live stream. Thanks for the advice, and I will do it and pro myself. Have a great day and be safe. Bye. You be safe too and have a good sleep. And yeah, see you in the next live stream. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate the story about that girl. Thanks for sharing this. Yeah, that's something that always reminds me, you know, if we've been through something like that, and it also makes you feel that, okay, your struggles, like my personal struggles, were not that bad, but it makes me feel even more the same as that girl. Like, I know I'm glad I've been through that. I'm glad I prefer me being in the situation because I know I can handle things. My husband is the same. He prefers, like, he also prefers to be in the situations where he can deal with the things, even if he has to suffer through it. And that's like this is how people who fought in their life, who faced a lot of struggles and survived. This is the people, and they at the same time they didn't get angrier. They might have some anger issues, but not like angrier in their heart. Those are the people who never regret those things happening to them. Okay, and keep scrolling up, guys. Powerful story. I'm humbling to keep it in mind that no matter how tough life is, there's always someone else who has it worse. Yes, exactly. That's what I said, that it's a reminder as well that someone always has it worse. And if they are resilient, you can be resilient too. Lots of people appreciate bravery. I thought defending my brother was about my life. Yeah, especially if it comes to your family, to your loved ones. It's yeah, like it's personal. Okay, guys, I keep scrolling up. I see that you're having some interesting conversations. Thank you. Thank you for everyone saying good things. And you know, why on earth I would watch barbaric, pointless sports? Chris, you generalize and oversimplify too much. It's not always black and white. When it becomes on the societal scale, it becomes more on the black and white. Not exactly black and white, but it becomes more like it's not only about you anymore and about your feelings and your needs anymore when it comes to the society level. When it comes on the individual level, of course, there are many exceptions, there are many, many areas to it, many individual details. I like to delve into individual psychology of different people, but there are a lot of things that patterns are the patterns. There are certain things that, like, for example, same type of traumas come from the same type of experience. And yeah, I mean, there's still multiple patterns to it that also create the, like, it gives a sense of individuality, but at the same time, in many ways, we're not that individual. We have some sort of collective. We have collective mentality in many things, and as I said, the bigger scale becomes when it becomes when it gets to the point where it's about survival of the people, of the humanity, of the country or community. Those, like, everything's gonna become black and white, very straight, because it's gonna be not about happiness and, you know, like, you only. It's gonna become about collective survival. On our side, you're just saying I'm wrong. That's not a debate. It's just nonsense. Yeah, I mean, if you guys, if we're open here to have conversations and share opinions, agree to disagree, but make some points. No. Don't call each other names. Don't call each other. You know, don't just say that you're wrong and that's it. That's not how it works. Michael Slayer, yes, I understand. When we lack of some love and acknowledgement and we lack those emotions from the parents, then we tend to seek those feelings, those emotions in the people who can give them, but it's temporary. It's always temporary. It's always, you need to start. There is very good materials from the Carl Jung when it comes to the mother archetype, and mother archetype goes for both parents archetype usually. So it's like, don't resent your mother for not doing the best for you. When you become an adult, it becomes your responsibility, and you need to take that archetype, understand where that comes from. She was also broken. She also didn't know how to do it better, and that's why she didn't try to do better. So as an adult, you take that responsibility for your life, for your decisions, and to being able to start appreciating yourself, loving yourself, and actually have self-validation. We need everyone else's validation to a certain extent. That's a normal societal trait. But at the same time, the better you're gonna be, the better self-awareness and self-perception you're gonna have, the better well-off you'll be. And when it comes to the mother, to help yourself to start acknowledging that, no, you are the one who needs to validate yourself. You are the one who needs to accept the way you are. You are the one who's gonna have to give that love and acknowledgement to your own self. You also gotta start from understanding that your mother was just a broken human being, and she maybe to a certain extent did her best as much as she knew how to do it. And if she didn't her best at all, she was just the direct reflection of the patterns she grew into, and she never achieved a certain level of consciousness to actually start doing self-aware choices and, you know, makes self-aware decisions. So she's not your responsibility anymore, and vice versa too. You're responsible for your own life, for your own identity. So you can Google it, Carl Jung, a mother's archetype, and just look up to it. It's a very strong one. I needed it to a certain extent. I also have, you know, never been perfect, and I had to look through and work through certain materials to delve into it even deeper. Yeah, as I said, guys, I'm sorry to hear what happened to you. There are some things I also happened. It wasn't perfect. Fortunately, managing to do as much as good relationship as possible with my parents, especially with my father and my grandma. It was worse before, but with them specifically, I saw some traits that I didn't see before. Behind a lot of toxicity, a lot of other negative traits, but I saw that they genuinely happy for my success and genuinely rooting for me. Whether with my mother, for example, I considered my best friend, her for my entire life, but then there's some things came in that I realized that there were a lot of ego there too. So it's always hard to manage relationships with the family, with the parents, especially with the parents. But yeah, you gotta do something that needs to be done. Unfortunately, some situations are you just cut them off. But even if you cut them off completely, you gotta find the way how you stop resenting them, you forgive them, but you also take their behavior as the blueprint of how not to. And also you take as their behavior of, okay, why they were like this, where that came from. And start looking for same patterns in yourself too. Because automatically we just repeat a lot of patterns even without having a conscious understanding of it from our parents. But one of the ways to break that curse, that cycle, is to look for those patterns in ourselves and start cleaning them up. Yeah, I understand, guys. I understand. You boys take care. Have a good day, host. You have a good day too, Herman. Can you talk more about Carl Jung mother archetype? Well, that's what I remember. I was listening to some parts of the audiobook. It was on the YouTube, and then I listened to this very good video where I just really recommend to look it up yourself, because I don't want to talk out of my ass. And if you really want to get a better information, I just recommend to look it up in the YouTube. But otherwise, yeah, it's very deep. It's very those archetypes are basically those patterns, those behavioral patterns, repetitive patterns that just happens to be based on our emotions, on our reactive emotions, and without the conscious thought, it just creates its own like a wave, like a tsunami, from generation to generation to generation to generation, etc. And it becomes accumulative. And if you, as I said, if you want to break those patterns, if you want to break that curse, you gotta stop it. You gotta cut it through in your own self. You cannot fight your parents. You cannot try to prove to them like they've been wrong. That's not gonna help. You also can expect your children to be something else without working on yourself first. So you gotta start from yourself to break it through. Okay, guys, I'm all the way up to the top of the chat. James says, you speak a lot of truth, make a lot of sense. Well, I appreciate it. We're here to have different type of conversations. I take care of my mother now. I've finished college now, getting in MMA, arm wrestling, boxing, weightlifting, modeling, acting, trying to get the most of my potential. That's That's great. I'm glad to hear you're at the good spot in your life, Knuckle Slayer. What's your name actually, and where you from? Please tell us. What you're doing for a living? I'm right now, YouTube became another source of income too. So trying to grow my YouTube, but also I'm a personal trainer, so I do some personal training online. Yeah, Chris says, I'm not being hostile. I come from a broken home and I'm breaking that pattern. So is Diana. Yeah, we both come from very broken homes, and we don't want a broken home for our children. So we're thinking through what is the reasons why people break up, why people make the wrong choices in the first place. A lot of people say it's about luck. That's not true. It's about patterns. It's about not being delusional. It's about accepting the hard truth and actually trying to look for the real red flags before even committing to something. Me and Chris started our relationship quite pragmatic. Obviously, we were very interested into each other, but it was not that much of the emotional roller coaster at all. We were very conscious about a certain personality traits that we found in each other. And from there, we started building it up. Great man, Syriza, I would probably arm wrestle this. So it's hard on your arms. Do you though? I think the fighting there will be enough. Yeah, arm wrestling, personally not my favorite either. Though Georgians are quite good arm wrestlers, but yeah, it's a very big load on the elbow joints and the shoulder joints and wrists. Aggression is understandable, but sign of weakness. I spent so much energy of being angry in my younger years to the point it made me physically ill. Praise be to Jesus for showing me the path to. Well, thank you for pointing it out. And yeah, aggression is understandable, but a sign of weakness. And weakness is also something that is part of our existence. We cannot be, we always strive for getting more resilient, stronger, more peaceful, full of wisdom. But that wouldn't happen if we didn't have those weaknesses that we had to challenge. So it's always about the balance. Obviously there are good events, bad events. There are certain things that happen, they're like directly bad or good. But in general, it's just a combination of opposites. And if you didn't have those opposites, you wouldn't appreciate one or another. After going through a bad childhood, do you want to children yourself? Yes, I didn't want to at some point. Before meeting Chris, I didn't want to. I never said like never strictly, but I said most likely not. And it changed when I went in a good relationship and when we started building a great relationship. So a lot of a desire for kids, it's a biological thing, and rather your body thinking that's a good partner for you, or you consciously knowing that it's a good partner for you, that desire comes up on the surface. But it's also, I understand what a responsibility behind it. That's why we're not rushing things into. We're working on having a good, solid income and income sources to be able to provide for the children and raise them in a good environment. But also we're committing a lot to building the community, great community, so our kids can have relationships with the great people in the community too, so they can learn from them as well. And we also try to work on ourselves, not like no fighting, trying to do our best to be good with each other, the manage tensions sometimes that come up in the relationship, all of that. So our kids, for example, don't really see enraged fighting scenes and episodes, and they actually will grow up in an environment where if someone is angry, they actually have enough patience and enough self-control that they actually can sit and communicate this with the right words and de-escalate the negativity. And we're already quite good at it. We barely ever fight, and by the time we're gonna have kids, I think we're just gonna be quite good at it. Great Perception says, people look at individual success stories and try to debate you. You're right, 100%. I got your back, man. As I said, statistics is statistics. It's majority over minority. When it comes to individual stories of success, even there, I'll tell you, the single mothers, for whatever reason, if it was the abusive relationship or just a divorce or any other reason, or basically just losing their spouse, passing away or anything like that. So if a mother ends up to be a single mother, if they have the understanding that their children need a masculine role in their lives, especially, I would say girls need them too, of course, but boys even, at some point, boys need even more. What they would do, they would put, and that's quite a lot of some Georgian women do, they actually pursue those things. They're not like a very high divorce rate in Georgia, especially in those past years, but if there was like, there's a single mother and she makes sure it's like her son grows up and becomes a man, first thing you would do, you would want to put them in an environment that there are other healthy men. So sports is a good option. You would put them in the sports and talk to the coach directly and explain to them that they don't have father, or the father is out of picture, and you want them to have a good masculine environment to grow in. So it's like other boys training, older boys looking up after younger boys, the coach standing as a little bit of the father figure. So yeah, sports can be a good. It's not perfect, but it can be an important factor to it. That's what I'm saying, that there are certain actions, certain decisions that are going to promote certain outcomes. And that's the thing, most of women, because women don't want their kids to suffer, they're like babying them too much. That's like a very common tendency in women. And if there is no father who's going to balance it out, they usually grow up their kids with like, they can do whatever they want, and this lack of discipline, this and that, and essentially those kids are suffering in their teenage years and in their adulthood because they didn't develop those traits like discipline, consistency, responsibility, accountability that makes life way more easier and way more successful. And they have to try to acquire those traits by themselves, navigate by themselves in the later years. That's one of the reasons why a lot of single mothers, they manage to provide for kids and kind of, just make sure that they're good, but very often it becomes way too much babying and way too much disabling their children. That's why the healthy masculinity has to be in place. Others? How did you all meet? Do you all know you were meant to be immediately, or others sometime knowing each other? I think no, we just met now from the stream, all of you, all of us. I'm new for this live, so what is the live for? Okay, it was actually about my VO2 max training, but I already finished my training and we just kept having a conversation. That's it. And we're talking about different stuff. Definitely sports. I respect you for real. Appreciate it. Thank you. Kids without both parents suffer, no doubt about it. We both are from single parents' homes and will break that cycle. All the stats show that you're way worse off coming from a single parent home. Yeah. Especially there is difference. Okay, sometimes it's not a choice. It just happens, right? One of the parents passes away. That was a big thing in the World War I and II, that women had to raise up their sons and their daughters. But it was a different situation. They just had to step in both masculine and feminine, provide for their kids. It wasn't perfect, but it was out of necessity. Now we are having lives that people divorce over, I don't know, like such a minuscule things that they shouldn't even get married and have kids from the very beginning if that is their attitude. So the meaning of the marriage really losing its point. Like even before Christianity, even in paganism, like marrying was like tying yourself for life, for eternity. And like it's like a beautiful process when you entrust yourself with, I'm not talking about like a lawful wedding necessarily, I'm talking about like a really understanding what you're signing for and taking that responsibility. Like nowadays, the marriage is just like, oh, let's marry, let's see how it goes. Then, oh, we have a kid, but I don't like you anymore, let's get divorced. We'll manage it somehow, and this is how people leave. They just leave somehow. What's your popular sport? Where are you from? Well, I'm from Georgia. The popular sports are definitely some wrestling, judo. I'm in boxing, and MMA is upcoming as a sport, and yeah, rugby is quite good in Georgia too. Yes, guys, there is no OnlyFans. Keep looking, you won't find it. Children need structure to succeed. Lack of routine and detrimental to their brains and well-being. Exactly. Same for the adults as well. You know, like how it's easy to really start going downhill once you step into an aimless and lack of structure times of life. My name is Nahul Seyan and I'm from Tamil Nadu, India. Hope you remember me. Thanks for all support. I will frequently update you guys. Really appreciate this healthy space you made, Diana. Yeah, it's both me and Chris, thanks to Chris and other moderators who help to do that. And we try to set the tone. It's not, we don't want to have conversations about nothing. Really want to give away some value, and thank you guys for bringing your value as well. Doing well? It's a day here in Vietnam. How did you and Chris meet? What's the first sight? No, definitely it's not love at the first sight. It's more like acknowledgement at the first sight, especially from my side towards him. Like from the we met from the dating app, and we just went on a coffee date straight away. You know, none of us like talking too much, you know, playing, like we're just like, let's meet. And first date was very interesting. I heard all about his survival, his wingsuit flying, and many like all the other stories about how the eldest children, statistically, eldest children from the broken households, where the men man was the father was a lacking figure, would make like a 70% of the Victoria Cross Medal of Honor holders, like all those kind of things. And I definitely had the massive acknowledgement and respect towards him from the very beginning, and like he felt very strong. But he was also like, he was still a fight and flight mode. He was quite impulsive in the way, like even the way he talked, his gestures. He was passionate because he survived such things, but at the same time it was quite rough. I even told him that you're quite loud and quite, you know. And when it comes to me, like he said that he saw the gem in the rocks. So there was like a brilliant hidden in the rocks, and I can agree with him now that I see how it was 3 years ago. I can definitely agree with that. But it was more of the really seeing a certain very, very valuable traits within each other rather than like falling in love. We started really loving each other more and more over time, and we love each other way more after 3 years, and gonna continue doing that than it was in the beginning. You do Muay Thai, I do boxing. Hey, shout out to all of you newcomers. Yeah, I agree, Kyle. People don't take it seriously anymore. Yeah, read perception, I agree. I think I already have some videos where I do play Freebird in a sprint. That's one of the favorite songs for sprinting. But anyways, guys, let me look up the time. So I have upcoming training. I gotta go now, and I really do appreciate all of you. I appreciate your just you being here and leaving your value and having a good conversation with me. As I said, if you play the stream back, it was about VO2 max training, and I'm going to do that training twice a week now. And well, we're going to stay updated how it's going to be results and how it's going to affect my endurance endurance and stamina for boxing and sprinting. And yeah, let me just read it out loud, what Chris says. Anyways, yes, and thanks, bye-bye, train hard. Thank you, you too, absolutely, and wish you all the best. You guys are cool, thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, Kyla, very much, I appreciate you all, guys. Okay, guys, well, that was it for today. I see you. Oh, by the way, before I go, let me mention the next live stream. So today gonna be drawing fighter live stream. I'm gonna draw Ben Askren without the poll. It's just because I said that I'm gonna do it as a sign for support. And then yeah, maybe do it even longer and maybe do some poll for some other fighter, figure, or boxer. So it's going to be a poll of 3-4 options, for example, and people are going to be able to choose who they want me to draw live. But okay, guys, thank you very much. Have a good day and good night. Bye-bye.